Once upon a time, there lived a king who had 12 beautiful daughters. These 12 princesses lived all together in a big, beautiful room. The king protected his daughters with his heart, and when they went to bed at night time, he did not allow them to go out. But every morning, they would wake up to something very strange. The shoes of the princesses would all be worn out as if they had danced all night long. The king had to buy his daughters new shoes every day. But the following days after, the shoes just kept wearing out. Neither the king nor his men in the castle could solve the mystery of the shoes.
How is this even possible? How can a pair of shoes worn out like that in just one night? Your Highness, we can't understand.
Finally, the king said,
Whoever solves the mystery of my daughter's shoes will get to marry whichever daughter of mine he chooses, become my son-in-law, and get to be the king when I pass away. But he has 3 days and 3 nights to solve it. Otherwise, he will spend his life in prison.
Many young men in the kingdom and even princes from other kingdoms came to the castle for the job. For days they guarded the door of the 12 princesses' bedroom. But after some time, none of them could solve the mystery, and shoes continued to wear out by the night. Finally, a good-hearted young man also wanted to give it a shot, and so he made his way to the castle. On his way, he met a lanky old lady who looked very poor. "My dear child, I'm very hungry. Would you be kind enough to give me a piece of bread?" The young man gave all the food he had in his bag to the old lady. She was very happy because the previous men who had passed didn't give anything. The old woman knew that this one was different than the others. So, in return, she gave him a magic cape. "Take this magic cape. When you wear it, you will be invisible. When it strikes 12 o'clock at night, put the cape on, be invisible, and get in the princess's room. This way you can solve the mystery of the shoes. But be aware, do not drink what the princesses give you. No, those nasty princesses." The young man took the magic cape and went to the castle. And when he arrived, he said that he was there to solve the mystery of the shoes. First day, when he was keeping guard in front of the princess's room, the oldest princess came out with a glass of lemonade. "You must be thirsty. We have prepared some lemonade for you. Please, have some." The young man forgot about the old lady's warning and drank it. Soon after, he was very sleepy. He fell asleep, snoring all night in the room that they had prepared for him. When it was morning, the young man stood up in a panic.
I was supposed to wear the magic cape and get in the princess's room.
On the second night, the young man once again kept guard in front of the princess's room. This time, another princess came out with a glass of juice in her hand. The young man was so thirsty while keeping guard and waiting for the nightfall. Without thinking, he drank all the juice that had been given to him. And of course, dozed off once again. The next morning when he woke up, he finally remembered the old lady's words. "But be aware, do not drink what the princesses give you."
There must be a sleeping pill in the drinks the princesses give me.
At that moment, the king came next to him.
2 days have gone by and you still haven't solved the mystery of the shoes. If you cannot do it today, you will end up in prison and stay there for the rest of your life.
The king finished his talk and went away. The young man had to solve this mystery today. That night, for the last time, the young man kept guard in front of the princess's door. This time, the youngest princess came out with an orange juice in her hand. But the young man was aware now. He took the glass, thanking the princess, and when the princess left, he poured the orange juice in a pot next to him. This time round, he was standing tall. The night fell and soon it was midnight. The young man put his cape on and at that moment became invisible. Slowly he opened the door and could not believe what he was seeing. All of the princesses were wearing their most beautiful ball gowns, hair and makeup done with their very new shoes. Let's see if the young man at the door has fallen asleep. One of the princesses opened the door and looked outside, and another princess put her ear on the wall. At that moment, the young man knew that he had to make some snoring noises. The oldest princess pushed her bed aside and clapped her hands 3 times. A secret passage opened in the place of the bed. The young man could not believe his eyes. One by one, all the princesses walked inside. And of course, the young man followed. The secret passage was opening to a stairway which had hundreds of steps going down. When they were going down the stairs, at one point the young man accidentally stepped on one of the princess's skirts. Oh, somebody stepped on my skirt! Oh, nonsense. It was probably you. When the stairs had finished, they came into a forest. They went past tall trees with beautiful silver branches. The young man took a branch and kept following the princesses. After another long walk, they stopped on the edge of a river. In the river, there were 12 boats in the shape of swans, and in them there were 12 princes waiting for the princesses. They got on the boats, and the young man got on the last one. The boat seems heavier than usual today, as if another person is on it. Strange. Oh, come on, stop dreaming. When they crossed the river, they came across a big shiny castle, and they could hear music coming from inside. When he looked through the window, the young man saw many people dancing. As soon as they entered the castle, the princesses started to dance. They would never get tired and just kept on dancing. Of course, their shoes started to wear out. The young man could not bear his hunger anymore, so he took a slice of cake on the table and started to eat. The youngest princess saw this. Hey, my cake! My cake is floating as if someone invisible is eating it! Come on, stop it with this nonsense. The young man took a golden cup from the table without anyone noticing. The princesses danced till the morning. Then they got on the boats, crossed the river, walked through the forest, walked up the very long staircase, and finally they came back to their castle. But their shoes were all worn out, once again. The young man was very happy that he had finally solved the mystery of the worn-out shoes. A while later, the king came next to the young man.
Your time is up today. Did you solve the mystery of the shoes? Yes, Your Highness, I did.
And so he told him everything. The king didn't believe him at first. But when the young man showed him the silver branch from the forest and the golden cup from the shining castle, the king knew he was telling the truth. And so he kept his promise and granted him the right to marry whichever princess he chose. The young man said that he wanted to marry the youngest one. The 12 dancing princesses were clearly not happy because their secret was out now. But the young man and the youngest princess got married and lived happily ever after.
Cinderella and the Three Witches. Once upon a time, in a land far away, there lived a magician named Xenia. Xenia believed that she was the most powerful magician that had ever existed. But when the fairy Leabelle broke one of her spells, Xenia realized that her magic had weakened. So, she used her magic to summon magicians and witches to join forces.
I'm calling for you, magicians and witches from everywhere.
Do you think the thing is turned on?
Give me a sign.
The first one to respond to Xenia's calls was the evil witch Hella. Then, Vega from the underwater world came into conversation. And finally, they began to make treacherous plans together. Hella told that she wanted to destroy the beauty of Snow White, and Vega planned to take control of the underwater kingdom by harming mermaid Aria.
We must win a war against the princesses, but we will start with Cinderella.
Then let's go get Snow White.
And Aria.
As the trio of witches cackled with evil laughter, Cinderella awoke to a happy morning with her little mouse friends.
The rainbow is all above. Your prince will give you love. So never give up believing. Two hearts are never leaving. Dream, Cinderella, dream. Your heart shines in the stream. Dream, Cinderella, dream. Your heart shines in the stream.
How beautiful you look, my princess.
But before she could answer, the earth began to shake under their feet. The trees around them were about to fall over. They swung to the left and to the right. Cinderella's friend, the white pigeon, flew towards them nervously.
What's going on here? Please call for help, White Pigeon.
When the white pigeon noticed Cinderella's situation, she flew to the ocean with a letter to the underwater kingdom.
What is happening?
No, the castle. My prince, look, the castle is falling.
The castle began to fade away. It was about to be wiped from the earth. This was all happening because the three evil magicians, Xenia, Hella, and Vega, bewitched the castle together with the help of their crystal balls. They thought they couldn't be stopped.
And when the castle completely crumbles, you will disappear.
When Cinderella and Prince Leo ran away from the castle, it began to rain. So they took shelter under a hazelnut tree.
This is a hazelnut tree. That means we can call for Leabelle.
Cinderella put her hand on the hazelnut tree, closed her eyes, and called for the good fairy Leabelle.
Leabelle, help us to break the spell.
When she heard Cinderella's voice, Leabelle appeared under the tree and used her wand to find out what was going on.
There's witches in the tree.
Oh no, No, Cinderella! This is the work of 3 powerful witches. They are so strong. We must hurry up and break this spell. With a little magic, Fairy Leabelle took everyone to the castle. When they arrived, they couldn't believe what they saw. The old castle was gone. Instead, there was a new, evil-looking castle. Mozzarella and Cheddar were also in shock. Suddenly, Xenia the magician appeared in front of the castle, with Hella and Vega next to her. You came to the wrong place. Now you don't have a home.
And now you will disappear too. Each of the evil witches started to fire magic bolts at Cinderella. Leabelle panicked and tried to shield Cinderella from the magic rays with her wand. But she was outnumbered, and the magic drained the power. She was almost defeated. She couldn't hold her magic wand any longer, and it dropped. Cinderella quickly took the magic wand and turned it to the witches. Fortunately, the light from the wand could stop the magic rays.
Oh no! Oh no! What are we going to do now?
But the evil witches wouldn't give up. This time, Vega used her power to defeat Cinderella by using water from deep down in the earth. She made the water split, and water streamed out.
Oh no! How could she do this?
You will never be able to defeat me. As the water streamed all over, something unexpected happened. Little Mermaid Aria's father, King Poseidon, appeared.
I read your letter. Leave Vega to me.
Poseidon used his trident and directed some of the water towards the witches.
Throw the witch in the trash.
Stop!
You can't do this. Vega tried to stop the water, but she couldn't. Poseidon pointed his trident at the witches again and turned the water into ice, so that the witches were trapped in a giant ice block. Leabelle saw her chance to help. She reached out for her wand and used its power to wrap a chain around the ice block and put a big lock on them. Then she lifted them up and threw them onto a mountain where no one would ever dare to climb. Finally, the witches had been defeated.
Thanks,
Poseidon! Poseidon returned to the underwater kingdom. Good Fairy Leabelle made the new terrible-looking castle disappear and restored Cinderella's beautiful castle back to where it was. Prince Leo and Cinderella were so glad to have their castle back. Thank you, Leabelle. No matter how evil the witches are, they will never be able to defeat your kindness.
I will protect you forever, dear Cinderella.
The witches received the punishment for what they had done. They stayed trapped in the ice block on a mountain until the sun melted the ice and they returned to their lives.
This war hasn't ended here, Leabelle and Cinderella. As soon as Rapunzel's witch Camilla joins us, you will be defeated.